Is Bitcoin money? Is it an asset? Is it a currency? Some people call it cryptocurrency. Some people call it money. Some people call it an asset. What is it exactly? And what's the definition of each term? So let's clear this up. So as you can see here, I have Bitcoin. Is it an asset, money, or currency? So I have here a little table that's going to help us understand these terms. And so we can start with the assets. So we have the future purpose backed by example. Does it lose value over time? So let's start with what is an asset. An asset is something that stores value. So that's the purpose of an asset. Usually it's backed by investment demand. A lot of people want it. A lot of people want to buy it. A lot of people want to put money in it. Example, gold, real estate, Bitcoin. Now, gold has been historically used, of course, as money, but also as a hedge against inflation. People buy gold because they want to save their money from the money printer. They want to save their money from being eaten away by the money printer. So that's why people buy gold. And of course, gold has other utility value like jewelry and being used in electronics. Real estate, people buy properties not just because they want to live in them, but because they want to save the value of their money. They use properties, they use real estate as a store of value because the money we use is broken. And if you leave your money in a bank account or in a savings account, you are going to lose value from that money. Bitcoin, a lot of people buy Bitcoin because they want to make money. Some people buy it because they want to store the value of their money. And some people buy it because they know this Bitcoin is going to keep increasing in value because it's perfect money. And that's us, me, and people who watch this channel. So loses value over time. Do assets lose value over time? They can lose value over time. For example, real estate can lose value over time. If the location where your property is located is not as good as it was, it will lose value. If the laws of the jurisdiction where your property is in, it might lose value. But with gold and Bitcoin, sure, they might lose value in short term, but in the long term, they will always keep appreciating in value. So yes, an asset can appreciate your value, but that doesn't mean it's not going to lose value, especially when it comes to real estate. When it comes to gold and Bitcoin, they might depreciate in the short term, but in the long term, they will always appreciate. So yeah, that's an asset. Now, what is money? And I've already explained what money is. I've already explained the attributes of money. Now you can watch my video, The World's Greatest Scam. You can find it here where I explain what money is. I kind of give a short historic overview of how money came about, how money emerged. But here, let's just say that money is a medium of exchange. The purpose of money is medium of exchange, store of value. So it's backed by trust and scarcity. We use money that people trust. It's not going to lose its value, and it's scarce. In other words, you can't find it everywhere, and you can't produce it easily. You can't produce gold easily. So that's why in the example, I put gold and Bitcoin. You can't produce gold easily. You can't produce Bitcoin easily or cheaply. So that's why they are scarce and they are trustworthy. Everybody trusts gold everywhere you go. It's fungible. Same with Bitcoin. Although, yeah, how can I say? Bitcoin, not so many people understand it yet, but in the it's getting mainstream adoption with institutions and governments and everything. But yeah, both of them are fungible. So yeah, gold and Bitcoin are money. Loses value over time. Again, depends, because in the short term, it might lose value, but in the long term, it's going to keep appreciating in value. Or should I say, with gold, it maintains its value against fiat money, which is the next thing, which is currency. Now, the purpose of currency is strictly medium of exchange and unit of accounts, backed by government decree. fiat, and of course trust. Now, the difference between currency and money is that currency can only be used in a specific geographic location that is controlled by particular governments. So that's why it's backed by government decree. If you live in the United States, you can use the dollar. You can use the dollar, the currency of the dollar. You can't use Chinese yuan to buy stuff in the United States. Chinese yuan is the currency of China. The French euro is the currency of France. The Canadian dollar is the currency of Canada. The Hong Kong dollar is the currency of Hong Kong. So all of these currencies are issued by the government and they are used in a specific geographic location. So that's the difference between currency and money. They are not scarce actually, as you can see, loses value over time, yes, because of inflation. So they are not scarce, they can be printed, and governments do print a shitload of them actually. And so yeah, currency is a medium of exchange, it's a unit of account, it's issued by the government. There are plenty of currencies everywhere you go. Every country you go to has its own currency, and they do lose money because of inflation, because every government prints money for different reasons. So yeah, an asset is something that you use to store value. Money is a medium of exchange, store of value, and all the other attributes. Currency is strictly used for medium of exchange and units of account. Now, what you should keep in mind is this. All money is an asset, but not all assets are money. In other words, gold is an asset. You can invest in gold, but so gold is money. It can be money, but it's also an asset because you can invest in it. So that's why all money is an asset, but not all assets are money. In other words, real estate is an asset, but you can't use it as money because real estate cannot be used as a medium of exchange. So it's not money, and it's also not divisible, and all the other attributes. All currency is money, but not all money is currency. In other words, the Hong Kong dollar is money. The American dollar is money. The Chinese yuan is money. These are currencies and they are money, but not all money is currency. Bitcoin is money, but it's not a currency. It can be, but it's not. If you go to pay taxes with the Bitcoin, they will not accept it. It's not legal tender. So currency is mostly backed by the government and it's issued by the government. You can pay taxes with it, and you can use it in a certain geographic location. Okay, so not all money is currency. Gold is money, but again, you can't really pay taxes with gold. So yeah, not all money is currency. The third thing, currency loses value over time. Government issued currency loses value over time because of inflation, because governments print money, while some assets like gold or Bitcoin maintain or increase value. So gold maintains its value against fiat money and against other things. Bitcoin increases in value. It also maintains value, but it also increases in value because a lot of people want it now, and because it's a scarce asset. It's the only money in the history of mankind that has a capped supply of 21 million coins. So it's gonna keep increasing in value when people understand its value, and when people understand its scarcity. So yeah, that's the difference between an asset, money, or currency. And if we talk about Bitcoin, I do consider Bitcoin all of these things. Bitcoin is an asset, Bitcoin is money, and Bitcoin is also a currency. You can use Bitcoin as a currency to buy stuff with the Lightning Network. You can use Bitcoin as money, it is money. And you can also use it as an investment asset. You can just buy it and hold it, because now we are still in the phase, because money goes through phases. It starts as a collectible, I mean, commodities that's become money, they go through phases. It starts as a collectible, and then it becomes a sort of value, and then a medium of exchange and units of account. Now, Bitcoin started as a collectible. You know, people who were interested in cryptocurrencies, they bought it for cheap. And then as more people understand it, they started buying it and the value went up. And it has become the ultimate sort of value. Now we are still in this sort of value phase. And it's going to take decades, I would say, before before the price of Bitcoin matures and it turns into a medium of exchange. So yeah, Bitcoin is an investment asset right now. It can be considered an investment asset. Buy it, don't sell it, because it's gonna get harder to buy Bitcoin because it's getting more expensive and the supply is shrinking over time. So yeah, it's an asset, it's a money, but it's also a currency. So yeah, that's all I have to say in this video. Let me guys know what you think in the comments below. If you have any question, write it down. I read all your comments and I would try to answer as much as I can. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to pass this video to a friend or two to help the channel grow. And see you in the next one. Take care.